we can have the team presentation, which will start now. So with the team one will start presenting the document, and also they will be listing out their active team members. Yes, team one, you can go ahead with your presentation.
Sounds good. Let me just share my screen in a few minutes. You see my screen?
Yes, I can see the screen list.
Great. So let's start with where we currently are at. So where we are at right now is we have a current data set of about 54 pre-processed question and answers. And it has a 4 essential columns, so that is the job position, the questions, the answers, and the interview phase. So this has gone through the pre-processing, and it's really to be worked on, but we still need to work on a few other questions and answers that were collected and need to be pre-processed. And we're also looking forward to the meeting with the different teams where we will look at additional labeling, the criteria we're going to add onto the data sets. And then once it's finalized, once we have that meeting on Saturday, we'll just finish up with adding in the criteria and having our data finalized by next week. When it comes to the participants, I will be able to share that with you after this. I did not actually work on the list before this meeting. Be it up to any questions that you might have. Yeah.
Yes, Liz, you can share the active participants list, also the documents which you worked on relevant to your structure, how you have been framed. I hope
So
you
we can
will be
share the
adding those
documents?
documents into the task team one Google Drive folder.
Yeah, I've been adding the presentations. What else will I add in?
The documents which you have been worked on has a resource till date. You can add those 11.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, if we do not have any questions, we can go ahead with the team 2 presentation. Yes, Steven.
Sia will be presenting. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me just share my screen.
Are you sharing the screen, Asya?
No, I'm having a little problem. Just give me a second, please. I'm sorry for that.
Okay, no problem.
Can you see now?
Yes. You can see.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So, as you all know, we are working on sales and marketing manager roles. And the finalized data columns at the moment are position or job title, which are further categorized as like product, brand, content, digital marketing, customer service, and market managers. Second column is question. third column is interview phase, which is further categorized into introduction question, behavioral, technical, and conclusion. And the last column is answer rating, which is categorized as good, average, and poor. The current state of data set is that data had been collected for entry-level position, including technical and behavioral questions. And we still need to collect more poor answers, and we are still working on that. And shortly, data will be shared with task 14, with finalize these 4 columns. Concern, the question at the moment we have is, does the data frame need to be pre-processed for contractions, grammar, and spelling mistakes? And these are the contributors. Thank you. And if you have any question, you can go ahead and ask.
Yes, thank you, Asya.
Hey, Aisha, Vamsi here. I have a question here. You said your questions are divided into intro, behavioral, technical, and something else, right? So, but this entire data set is nothing to do with technical questions, isn't it?
Yes, but like we were coming across different question and answers. So other than that, there were only behavioral questions, which were not enough. So that's the reason we do have like included technical questions as well, because there are different roles we are working on. Even like in sales and marketing, they are different job positions. So that's the reason we do have technical questions as well.
Yeah, so let me also clarify that. So right, so we had a lot of questions that were specific to marketing, for instance, that were very and less so sales, but much more marketing, where these are questions that probably someone in sales would not be able to answer. And so I guess the word technical is more meaning like kind of job specific almost. So some questions geared towards sales, some geared towards marketing, and that's what we grouped together as technical. And then by behavioral, it kind of is all inclusive of soft skills kind of questions that is not specific to any role, but really asking about like personality traits. And that's what we put together. Yeah, niche specific. Thank you, Trishika. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes,
Perhaps if you could give maybe 1 or 2 examples, I think that would be
sure. I can do
relate.
Did you want me to do it now or later?
Later is fine. That's all right.
Okay, no problem.
I think Naushad have a question.
Yes. Yeah, so I mean, if I remember correctly, in the slides you mentioned the answers are categorized into 3 categories. But whereas in the Slack channel, based on the schema shared by Shubhi Jain, the ratings are 5. So which one out of these is final? 3 or 5?
I think in the last meeting, it has been finalized to 3, good, average, and poor. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry to interrupt, Asya. Do you want to explain? Because I think, this is the first time 2 groups are on the call, right?
Okay.
Are you there?
Yes, Pune, you can go ahead because I just added them to know the data structure and how we are trying to
Okay, all right.
work on it.
No, I think you could probably set the context so that everybody knows that. Then I can explain.
Nausha, this is the other meeting actually. So the structure might be different.
If I remember, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. So the current slides are presented for the team 2, right?
No, this is completely different. So we have added to know more details on the ongoing structure, how they have been formatted.
Okay.
So the meeting which is scheduled at 9:30. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So now, for this group, what we decided was instead of giving a quantitative number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we had decided to have categorical values, just 3 of them. because the team felt the answers that they collected, they were suitable for only those categories. It was not easy to assign numbers to that. So we went with this approach. So that's common for, I mean, the people who are part of this meeting.
Okay, so do we have any collected place where this latest schema is available?
Okay, I mean, okay, there are just, okay, I can share you the sheet that we have within this
Okay.
group. Okay, we are
Yeah,
still
sure.
working on it to add some additional columns. And tomorrow we have a meeting. So we are going to discuss a little bit further about that. But I can share you whatever we have right now.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Punya.
Punya, I have a question here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so as we will be like giving the data to team 4 for further process, so I just want to make sure the other teams are also like giving the data in the same format, like the categories and all 4 columns, like so it will be easier for them to summarize, or it is fine if their columns are different. So do we really need to match what other teams are giving? So I just want to clarify that.
Okay, we agreed on the essential columns, right? So those names are the ones that we need to use, the column titles. All right. So let me open that quickly so that I can give you the exact value. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so these are the first 4 essential columns that all the 3 teams will give out to task 4. All right. Is that fine, Asya? Or do you still have some
But
questions?
what about the subcategories? Like, for example, for answers, we are sure that we have good, average, and poor. And what about interview phase? Because we have
Okay,
categorized.
for now, task 4 team has not started building the components for evaluation yet. So for now, they can work with the first 4 columns.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. I think Liz and Vamsi have a question. Liz, can you please go ahead?
Yeah, I think it's a part of what Asia had asked in terms of interview phases. But from what they have 4 categories. It looks like it's very high level. So for example, behavioral is very high level. And how we structured our categories was more of the actual value or the skill that is being asked for. So if it is empathy, so it's like a specific skill that we're looking at, and so we end up having like over 8, 9, 10 values. And so I think it's just tied to what Atia is asking. Should we all have one structured way of going around categorizing the interview phases so it cuts across? Because let me stop there.
Okay, yeah. Interview phase, we want it to be short. We don't want too many interview phases. That's what I think I had discussed with Stephen. I think during the previous meeting that we had, there were around 18 different categories that Stephen had come up with for the questions that he had. So what I told was that, yeah, from 18, we would roll them up and come with a smaller set of categories. Okay. Right,
Okay.
Stephen? So for interview phase, if you could have
That is, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the interview phase being like very like so small, and then we can go into more depth about the different types of questions. I guess we would need another column question type almost, or a topic.
Yeah. I think that's what we will discuss tomorrow. So you have the granular information already available. So I think that is something that you can use for the new column that we will add. But for interview phase, you could have it to be maybe 5 or 6. I mean, depending on your job description, depending on the job position that you have selected. So what is logical and what makes sense for that, you can choose that.
Yeah, I like that.
There need not be, there need not be a number saying, okay, everybody has to have 5 or everybody has to have 6. It can vary from job position to job position.
Okay.
Yes.
Just one other question that I had was I'd love to hear from team 2 how they are getting the poor and average answers. So share that with us. It will be great.
Okay, we can touch base afterwards or later on.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, yes, we can go ahead with the team 3 updates.
Vamsi
And
has a
also,
question, I believe.
Vamshi, you can ask the question. You can go ahead with your updates, Vamshi.
Yeah, one question I have is regarding this categories, right? The rating for the answer. I remember last time we discussed this point, but somebody has put in the chat saying that the LLMs can categorize them by looking at the response of the answer, based on the response, the way it looks. If that is there, we really don't have to do this. Is it final, or we still need to go with this good, average, poor category? Do we need to still categorize them?
Okay, I believe you're talking about task 4. I think maybe the message based on task 4, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so task 4 is just getting warmed up now. So they have not yet started coding it. So initially they're going to do the basic approach. So they're going to leverage the LLM to do that. Okay, that's why currently it states that.
Okay, we still need to go with good. So that means we need to have add that. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll go with my presentation. It'll be very short. I think somebody has to stop sharing. You want to continue? So can I share the screen? I think Punay, you have. Okay. Let me know when you can see the screen. So, just a recap, you all know that we are working on data collection for healthcare services, and our weekly meetings are in progress. Rather, it is we are communicating more on our own team channel than the meetings, right? Because of some overlaps and all. And quick on start, the updates is data is collected for healthcare services, and data pre-processing is in progress. So basically, what we have done is we had around 2,000 and odd rows, and there are a lot of questions and answers were repeated inside that, maybe because of the copy paste or whatever. So there are a lot of question and answer look very same. So Sneha has looked at it, and she has reduced them to 935 question and unique questions and unique answers. Now what we are doing is we are going ahead and adding more answers to the same question. Like it could be question could be same, but it could have multiple answers. Like it could be positive answer, it could be neutral answer, it could be not so good answer. I would call it negative answer. Okay, so that's what we are working on, and as we speak, it is still in progress. And regarding the seniority level that we discussed last week, we could not find a lot of levels in these categories. Like, in case of nurse, we could find only nurse and head nurse. But when we looked at the questions and the responses, they look very similar with very minute differences. So we could not really categorize them those level. For example, medical assistant. Is there a senior level medical assistant or something which we don't know? So we could not really differentiate that. So the current activity is collecting more answers now with the update that we need to categorize them into good, average, poor. So we have to do that. So that's where we have to do that and review the final data and publish the data sheet of the modeling team. Any questions? So team 3, anyone is there from team 3, they can add if I have missed anything. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Vamsi.
Okay.
No questions from my side.
Okay. I thought I lost my connection. So team 3, you have any 2 minutes update or 1 minute update to the entire group, you can do that. Otherwise, I think Punay or you can continue with the rest of the agenda. Okay.
I would say you have covered everything, Vamsi, what we are
Thank you.
doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there are no questions, we can go ahead with the modeling thing. Vishnu? Yes, Vishnu.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So coming to the modeling theme, we actually figured out like what are the subtasks to be done. So I've updated in the channel. So maybe the team will now concentrate on the subtask and will work in this week, I guess. So as of now, it doesn't have any updates. We actually had a
Okay,
meeting.
okay. If you do not have any updates, yeah, you can also get some more ideas approach from Abdul Aziz. Abdul Aziz, do you have the presentation ready from your side for having broader idea how the application will start working? Am I audible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, so for now we are still doing more of review and iteration aspects of the text to speech engine. We are seeing a lot of implementation from that particular task, and we are still testing the question generation and the interview, the response evaluation framework. So the response evaluation framework is completed, but still on that
Abdul Aziz,
phase.
can
So far,
you,
so
if
good.
possible, can you show the presentation of your approach?
Okay, let me share the documents.
Few slides. Yes, yes, that's good.
Give me a minute, please. Let me copy the link. Please hold on a second. I'll drop the link. Let me share my screen and I'll also drop the link in the chat section. So, okay, so currently, these are the tasks that we have at hand. The user introduction and detail collection is still pending. We've not finalized on handling this particular section. Currently, the question generation step is completed, but it's still under review. And these are the screenshots of the three LLMs that we leverage in generating these questions. The outcome are actually, we designed them to be able to come out as JSON so that it will be easy for the modeling team to be able to handle the outcome of each and every LLM agents that we create. So that way they'll be able to fine tune and render the questions generated and their skills app better. And the second one is the interview simulation. The interview simulation is more of a chatting kind of approach whereby the user will be responding to the chatbot questions, and then the chatbot will be able to determine what to do next after each and every response that the user push over. But we are still, this is still in progress because there is no presentable proof of concept right now in terms of database simulation. Everyone is still having their hands on deck in terms of how to approach it. Same thing goes with the text to speech and the speech to text integration, because we are trying to leverage our models for Hugging Face and some other Python libraries and modules to achieve these text to speech tasks. So really this is done. Though this, there have been a lot of solutions on these aspects and they are under review, but for the text to speech, we are not having a POC submitted currently, but I'm very sure it's in progress. And the evaluation and feedback framework, this is it has actually been implemented on three LLMs: OpenAI, Cohere, and Google Palm. But this is a response from OpenAI response evaluator who which is trying to evaluate the question what contributed it to frustrate. Yeah. So it's able to evaluate if the user is responding, if the response is actually an average, and the feedback to give. The reason why it's evaluating this as an average because it's bring it in there, and these are sample of good response that the agents can actually suggest to the user. Some of to actually give a very nice learning experience. So the final evaluation will be well constructed and sample of good response will be given back to the user. But then the deployment team will understand how to handle this better because since it's in JSON format, they can easily render it. The closing and encouragement stance is still it's actually a backlog because I'm not sure if we'll be considering this, but it's something probably we might consider it later using the chatting, using the interview simulation agent, but we are still concentrating on this. The testing and iteration is always working alongside of all other tasks, but we've always got to test the outcome of all their agents against any error and to also ensure that the agents are actually consistent in all their response. But so far so good. The evaluation and feedback system is done and the question generation system is done. But one other thing is now the retrieval augmentation. We've not, the retrieval augmentation is also pending as well, which is how to load the data collected by the data collection team and also giving it to the model making decision. But one other thing is being able to evaluate if the person is using for the retrieval augmentation will actually suffice with what the model is actually trying to generate. But it's something that the team are still having their hands on deck and handling. And some other part of our work, actually, the coming week is giving some of these agents to the deployment team so that they'll be able to integrate it with the user interface that they built, and then they'll be able to share their feedback on how the user interface is actually playing with the agents that is being integrated. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, Abdulaziz, you can do it. If Vishnu, you can have you have questions, you can. So Abdulaziz is using different agents to work on different set of the task, and so we have how many agents you are trying to use for the complete set of model?
Okay, I didn't get your question.
Yeah, how many set of agents you are using for the model or the complete integration of the chatbot?
Yeah, actually, for the interview simulation, I'm having my own approach. Some other team are also working on multiple approach, so we'll be finalizing on that. But for the question generation, yeah, we've implemented 3 LLMs, which is Cohere, Google Palm, and OpenAI. The reason why there are three is OpenAI is not free, and Cohere
So
is
for
giving us
question
the
generation part, you are yes, Abdulaziz. For question generation part, you are cross-checking with different open source LLMs, right? So Cohere, Palm, and Bard. So those are the three approaches you have been used for question generation. That is one thing.
Yeah.
Next, yes, go ahead.
Okay, so for the evaluation as well, we've implemented 3 LLMs. Let me see if I can give the screenshot of the outcome of other LLMs and ready, so I'll be able to share that as well. So it will be much more insightful that way. Okay, I think the screenshots are ready. Let me try to take one and then be able to share with the team. Sorry, give me minutes. Okay. Yeah. So can you see the new screenshot? So this is a response from the Google Palm agent, which is everything the Google Palm LLM on the sample candidate response, and it's also giving its own evaluation. The feedback is not giving any feedback, so the reason it gives the reason why it's considered the evaluation as good, and it's also suggesting sample of good feedback that will definitely assist the candidates in some in probably in another iteration or a better way to move forward. So this is from Google Palm 2. Let me await the Cohere LLM outputs and see if that is also ready as well. Okay. Okay, the screenshot for the Cohere LLM is not ready yet. Probably before the end of the call, it should be. So I'll be able to share the output of the Cohere LLM. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think it's ready
Yes,
now.
yes. Thank you, Abdulaziz. So yes.
Okay, yeah. This is the output of the Cohere LLM in terms of response evaluation. So it's also evaluating, returning an evaluation feedback, reason for the particular evaluation we give, and samples of good response as well. That is also how the outcome of the response evaluation agents actually look like. And it's also returning it as a JSON response, so that it should be easy for the deployment team to manipulate and handle at their own end.
Yes, thank you, Abdulaziz. Yeah. Thank you. We can go ahead with the model deployment teams presentation. If you can have any questions, you can just ask Abdulaziz.
Okay, so for the model deployment, we'll be presenting a user interface of a new user interface that we have.
Abdulaziz, we are discussing the model deployment of the project, this project. Okay, so who is the team members of the lead task leads and co-leads of model deployment? You can go ahead. Anyone? Do we have task leads and co-leads?
Yeah, I think I'm co-lead for the deployments as
No,
well.
no, not here, Abdulaziz, not this one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You do not have, right, Punya? Yes, Punya, you can go ahead if you have any questions or you can discuss anything more with the team. Yes.
No. I think Taskify does not have any lead or co-lead. Okay.
Yes, that someone from the team should start taking initiative and scheduling the meetings, right?
Yeah. I think people on the call are probably confused about what they are saying. So maybe I'll just
Abdulaziz, you can just turn off. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Good. So,
Okay,
yeah, that is a different team which is working on the same project, and they have more good approach in terms of model building and deployment. They are already working on. So we thought of to share their idea to the team, and also they can get more updates and structure on the data how the team is present. The present team is working on. That's it. There is no question, I guess. Yes, open questions now. Yes,
Actually,
Rishika.
I have a question. Since we have like several, niche specific roles in our data set, how will the chatbot, if I'm the candidate and suppose I'm digital marketing manager, and what if some other questions would be asked, like, because we have like very niche specific roles in our data set, like how will the chatbot know what the candidate I mean see I if I just select marketing manager and I want only the relevant questions to be asked, not like some irrelevant, like which is suppose like I mean or social media marketing manager or etc. I mean, I hope you're getting it. What if it's irrelevant to the job role? That's what is my question. what if the LLM, the chatbot, ask a question which is irrelevant to the candidate? How can we solve that issue? Because we have like several job specific roles in our data set, like for sales manager and marketing manager.
So I think that's what the teams are doing as part of task one, where I think team one, team two, team three, right? Everyone is validating the data that is collected, and then they are putting the right job position against the questions. So when we pass the data to LLM, or rather when we pass the data to the app, to task 4 team, they would have a mechanism in place to pick only those questions that have job position equals. In your example, I think you said sales and marketing manager, right? So it would pick that job position and then it would ask the questions related to that. In terms of irrelevant questions, I believe that's what the teams are doing to weed out the irrelevant questions and keep only those questions that are valid for the job position of interest.
I can give a more specific answer if that is okay.
Yes, Naushad, please.
Okay, let me share my screen and show you some architect. I think Abdulaziz forgot to share this information, I guess. And this architecture is not finalized yet. Just for the information, just to understand how the flow works. Are you able to see the architecture diagram?
Yeah, Naushad.
Okay, so based on the user CV or any information that a user says, so all those things are present in a database. You can ignore whether it's a vector database or RDBMS. You can assume it as simple RDBMS database. So all these, whatever Trishika is mentioning, that specific job role, number of years of experience, those are all like columns. So whenever a user selects particular column, all these will be filtered out. Only relevant questions would be sent to the question generator agent. So only based on these questions, a new question will be generated or similar question will be asked to the user. And once the user answers the question, so same answer will pass to response evaluator. Similarly, the only answers related to the relevant questions will be passed on to the another generator to compare whether the answer provided by the user is actually relevant or how good or bad it is to compare. Then it provides the feedback. Hope that's clear, Etel. Is that clear or shall I explain?
Yes, Naushad, I think that answers my question. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is not finalized. This is still in discussion. What else to be changed? So yeah.
Thank you, Naushad. Are there any other questions from anyone in the team?
Only just a broad thinking. So we are still at the data collection and pre-processing more at this point of time, right? So I just heard from Yaya that by 29th we'll have to do the final presentation, right, as the entire team. Now, do you think it's practically possible, or will it extend to the new year also?
Okay. The extension part is something that only Yahya can answer.
Okay.
But then about the practical part, okay, definitely we can build a version that is simpler. Maybe not the version that Abdulaziz showed, but a simpler version that can be built. So,
Okay.
me and Vishnu had a discussion earlier today, and based on that, Vishnu had posted those details. So I think based on that, if task force members can start working on it, it is possible. Okay, it is possible to do it.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah, and just
So yes,
for the
in
team's
terms of
information,
yes.
yeah, the presentation you saw from Abdulaziz, so he and Naushad and few other members from his group, they had started working on task 4 right from the first week. Okay, when the project started, they started working on task 4, regardless of whether they had data or not. So that is why they are able to build a much more, what do you say, sophisticated approach where they are able to evaluate different language models. They're able to, so what you're seeing there, like he said, like 3 agents, right, for question generation itself. One is Palm, one is OpenAI, the other is Cohere. So basically, those are classes that are built, custom classes. Those are not available on the market off the shelf. So those are custom classes built by Naushad and Abdulaziz and his team. So within that, they are invoking, say, Google Palm or OpenAI or Cohere internally. So you don't have to worry or get scared by looking at that, because they just tried 3 different things, 3 different agents to see how they perform.
Yeah, okay. Hey, is it code available for everyone to look at now?
I would say it's not a good idea to look at it because it would defeat the purpose of
Right. Okay.
purpose of the project, right?
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it can be. I mean, if you want definitely to be shared, we can share it, but then that's not the right way to learn it, right?
Well, that's fine.
Yes.
In the end of the
Yes.
project also, we can like take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
what.
Punya and Vamshi. Yeah, at the end of the project, the code is available to everyone to download and to add into your repositories. Also, that is the deadline has mentioned 29th. All if we are not able to complete all the set of features, however, we are going to launch a new set of project, the chatbot interview for project 2 in January. So hopefully we'll complete the set of features with that project. Yes. Any more questions?
I have a question.
Yes, Asya, go ahead.
Is it possible to like give little more detail about like what Nosha just explained about the question Trishna asked, that when like the user will be there and he will answer a few questions, and accordingly he will be asked specific questions according to his job position. So is it possible to provide like little technical details, like what sort of model will be used? So like to get a better idea, or it's just like task 4 is still working on that?
Okay, there are 2 ways of doing that. So one is, let's say we have the spreadsheets, right? So team 1, team 2, team 3 all have their own separate spreadsheets. So what will happen in task 4 is that all 3 spreadsheets will be combined and it would become a single sheet. So you would have a single repository and it will contain all the different job positions all the 3 teams have collected. So all of them are going to be in there. Now, the job position column is going to be used to filter out the questions that are relevant for the mock interview. All right. So in the user profile screen, which will be like the landing page for the app, the user will select the job position that he or she is interested in terms of doing the mock interview. So based on the selection of that value, we are going to, let's say, for simplicity's sake, we can directly filter it from, let's say, a pandas data frame that contains all the questions for all the job positions. So we just do a simple filtering. The other approach is ultimately the questions and answers, they are text contents. So whenever we want to use it in the purview of this app, so we need to look for similar matches. We cannot look for exact matches. So definitely the data is going to go into a vector database. So there, let's say we use ChromaDB. Now the question and answer, those being text in the sense free form text, they will be embedded. That is, they'll be converted into embeddings using a model of choice, an embedding model of choice. Whereas the other columns, let's say the interview job position, interview phase, those will become metadata. In the sense, those are not going to be stored as embeddings. Rather, they will be stored as exact values based on which we can do filtering, just like how we do filtering in a pandas data frame. So once the user gives the job position as input, then it's easy for us to do the filtering either from pandas data frame or even from a vector database. Does that give you what you're looking for?
Yes, I got the idea. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Question? No questions, right?
So the feedback of the answer, the quality of the answers will be like done through the prompt engineering. The team 4 is working on connecting with that Palm API and what is the other thing? I'm not sure. I mean, the
Yeah.
LLM
Oh,
would
yes.
okay,
Yes.
evaluate it. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more questions?
I
Yes,
think
Puneet.
we can close. Yeah, I think there are no more questions.
Okay, sure. Thank you all for joining today's weekly meeting and be actively participate. Yes, Obina.
Obina is
Obina?
clapping, not raising a hand. He's clapping.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So for inactive participants, we have few more. We will be removing from the project who are not updating anything in the project. We'll see the sheets of the task leads who will be sharing. And also from your side, take initiative and share the documents of the leads and the work or resources into the relevant channels. We'll be going through and adding it into the relevant Google Drive folder. Hopefully everyone will be doing the same. Thank you all for joining today's weekly meeting. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.